What's up? Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I was trying to scarf down a banana and a protein bar there really quick. Just got back from a run, got out a little late. Good morning, Blair, Daniel, Appy, Ray, Adam, Alyssa, Jasmine. Welcome in. Welcome in. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Ishan, welcome in. Good morning. Jean, good morning. Ines, Happy, doing good, doing good. Louis, welcome in, man. Get into the analysis here in just a minute. I got so sweaty on my run that my phone won't let me charge it because there's so much sweat in the charging port. It was in my pocket, which was awesome. But my phone's about to die, so I'm not going to start the live on Instagram. Oh, no. That's a rough day if you forget the iced latte, Ishan. Welcome in, Daniel. Good, good. Doing good. Awesome. Who was first in this morning? Blair. First in the chat. Chi, good morning. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in. Trade yesterday, I attempted a short at 72. I think I was on, yeah, that was during the live stream yesterday in the morning, and then it just got too choppy. Ended up taking it off break even. I was targeting 53, which sure enough did hit like right at the end of the day. We finally went out. I was watching that zone for shorts between like 70 and 80. And I tried it once, got stopped out break even. It got super choppy. Didn't get back in, kind of walked away, called it a day. And then the afternoon, the setup played. We came all the way up to the top of that 80 zone. If you guys remember from yesterday, here, I'll drop down here. If you guys remember yesterday, this is what I talked about is I was watching basically this whole area here for sellers. And we popped up into here after the news, after 10 a.m. I caught it short and was up a little bit. And then I think I was up like 5 points. And I kind of said, okay, this is it for selling. Moved my stop break even, got taken out on this rally. We pumped up to these highs one more time, and then it dropped down to my target there at the 53s. So great trade idea, just wrong timing. It kind of chopped around a lot in the morning until the afternoon, kind of made that top and then dropped. So setup worked. We kind of went to the target that I was planning on. It just happened late in the day, and then I wasn't around to trade it. Yeah, for sure. Said about that. Yeah, you just got to let it go. Start fresh every day. So that's a quick little recap on yesterday. Tomorrow, things are going to be slightly different. I'm going to be hosting the live stream privately, still 100% free. You guys can join in. I'll send the link in here, but I'm not going to host it publicly. This is going to be only for people that follow me, and I'll get a lot more into the details of things. So I'll share the link here. So for you guys that want to sign up in there, I'm also going to share this on Instagram as well. It's just not going to be public. It's just going to be for like our current group, current followers, but it's totally free. You can use it from any browser. You don't need to download anything. You don't need to do anything. It's just gonna be kind of like a Zoom call. So check out that link there. I will post about it on Instagram, but you guys are getting the first dibs on the info. So I recommend registering on there, and it will send you an email with the link to join the live call tomorrow. I want to test this out, hosting this privately without YouTube. All right, so let's get into the analysis for the day. Let me just make a comment in here and $20.25. For anybody that's on mute there. Yeah, I will try to record it and post it afterwards, Justin. I'm going to, it may take me all day, I don't know, because these streams can run so long, as you guys know. So it may take me a while to download it, but I will do my best to record it and post it, because I know some people just join after, or just watch the review after if they're working and stuff and can't stay for the whole thing. So I'll show this again later, but it's highlighted there in the comments for you guys. Again, pretty much what we're doing already, but we'll just get more detailed about things, and I'm not going to host it publicly on YouTube. It's just going to be for us here in this group. So getting into the game plan for the day. Let's go to the daily chart here. Been talking about this for months. This daily trend line that has held higher lows, 4 touches, absolutely ripped after it dipped slightly under it. On Friday, we had that really strong rally, but since then, really since that morning rally on the news, we kind of went straight sideways. We had this area of sellers up here that was watching for defended against. I actually caught a really nice short profitable trade off this little rejection from one of these supply zones on Friday. Again, if you weren't in early, there was pretty much no opportunity. That was just an absolute rocket ship. But this area did reject as kind of anticipated. But that being said, higher time frame is still very bullish. So any shorts that I was looking for are just very quick counter trend, not trying to kind of reverse the higher time frame trend at all. What we're seeing now is just kind of a retracement. This was a very, very exhaustive extended move. Looking at the volume profile here, this was that news move, and you can see this is a 30-minute chart. So that first 30 minutes on news, we rocket shipped up here, and then we just built volume and consolidated right in this area of supply. And since then, we've just been making lower highs and rejecting back down. We've pretty much retraced into this area of low volume. This was what I was looking to target. When the market got so far extended and then came up into an area of supply, that's why yesterday I was looking for shorts, just to target, not trying to reverse this whole move, but just to target a quick retracement to retest this zone. There was very little volume that transacted here, and now we're hitting a supply, so it's reasonable to expect we go back down towards the 50%, and that's exactly what we did. Unfortunately, it just happened late in the afternoon and overnight when I wasn't around to trade it. So it is what it is. Hopefully some of you guys had that analysis. Maybe you guys traded the afternoon or overnight and caught it. Yeah, that 50%, exactly. I'll get into that here in just a moment. So that was already a key level that I have been watching. This 64.31 level, you can see how We broke above it, rejected back under it, retested it twice, rejected, broke above it. And then on this, you can see on the sell-off, we had a little bit of support there, then broke under it, and then we broke back over it. And it's been flip-flopping. The 6431 area has been flip-flopping as a resistance and a support area. And then coincidentally, if we look at the daily chart and we look at the 50% of this move that occurred, 6430. So like 6430. So very interesting. I'm watching that. And then as if that's not enough, what do you know? Where did we bounce? Right there. 50% of that daily range, 6430, that key level, right around there. I mean, multiple confluence saying that's a key spot we need to watch. So as long as we hold above that this morning, one of the first things I'm watching for is if we continue these higher lows to build momentum, to look to scalp kind of an opening range breakout setup. I call it a morning momentum setup because I don't necessarily trade it the same way as candle chart traders trade an opening range breakout setup. But when I see the momentum setup form in the morning, we dip down here, making higher lows. We kind of held this demand level. So one of the first setups that I'm looking for is kind of that morning momentum or break and retest back above this 6453 level. You can see this was my target from yesterday. It was an old key level. It was right in the middle of that area of low volume. We're kind of filling in that low volume area now. You can see, do what I did yesterday. This kind of helps me draw over it and talk through it. So you can see we blasted up on news and we made this area of low volume. Then we kind of consolidated a lot up here. So this was kind of an area of supply that sellers had previously rejected, and we consolidated up here, dropped down, consolidated again. So pops were being sold into. We're clearly making lower highs. And now we've kind of dropped into this key area where buyers were very strong and ripped price higher. So we're kind of building volume in the same way that we did up here. Now we're doing it down here, kind of building volume and making higher lows, supporting this area. So one thing that I'm watching for as we're doing this, if there's a lot of buying momentum this morning, is to catch that long just for a scalp, probably into these sellers from yesterday afternoon. That's one of the first things that I'm watching for this morning. Does that make sense? Is that kind of talking through this and explaining, but it might be a little bit convoluted with everything that I just drew. Hopefully that makes sense. This is like back of napkin kind of morning game plan. You know what I mean? Got it. Okay. So that's the first game plan that I'm watching this morning. The other thing that we could see is if this kind of bounce off of this area of demand gets shut down. I don't like this quite as much, but this is a possibility as well that I'm watching for. And actually, let me go back over so we can see kind of the levels on here as well. So, and this is kind of that previous support and resistance zone here. But the other thing that I'm watching, if I don't find this long and we do pop up into here, I am watching this area, kind of yesterday's close area. So like around here, kind of prior day close was also like right around open. We kind of opened and closed almost in the same area. That looks weird. So we kind of opened and closed around the same area. So I'm watching this. If we do rally up here and fail to get any kind of continuation in this zone here, and sellers reject pretty strongly, then I am watching out for this to go retest these lows. And if sellers are really strong, then maybe this zone or this opening area from Friday's rally. So that's like kind of scenario 2 that I'm watching. So scenario 3, if I don't see either of those that I'm watching, is going to be kind of something like this, where we have this area down here that originated this news rally. Really, this whole area, we had this kind of bull flag on, what is this, the 15-minute chart. So I'm watching really this whole area that formed that bull flag and really strong and originated this really strong news move. So if I don't see kind of any other good setups for him, we just kind of mess around and come down into here. I'm not going to fade this if we just dump down here with extremely strong selling, because obviously, you know, over the last 3 days, we're doing this. But if we do drop down here kind of impulsively, sporadically, not a ton of significant selling, then I'll be watching that area as a demand zone. Like I said, this whole area here. And I'll be looking for signs of buying and absorption in this area to take it back to the upside. And I would probably just be looking to target kind of this middle of the range. Middle of the range, if buyers are very strong, then I'll kind of trail my stop loss along and see how much we can get, and maybe we can get back up into this zone if we don't test it already. So those are kind of the 3-4 different scenarios that I'm possibly watching this morning. We do have news coming out at 10 a.m. What news is that? Consumer confidence news coming out at 10 a.m. So I am watching that. I am watching that. If you tuned in late, everybody, tomorrow's live stream, again, free live stream, no changes, will be like this, but more details, more kind of personal scenario. It's going to be hosted privately. It's free. You can sign up here. I highlighted this chat thing, but you can see it if you scroll up to the top there. I will post it again towards the end of the stream. But if you want to join in the live stream again tomorrow, it will be just hosted privately with StreamYard, kind of like Zoom. So I'm going to do it just for our group in here. I'm not going to do it for publicly. I will try to record the stream as always and upload it to YouTube after. But if you want to be a part of the live stream tomorrow, it's going to be hosted here privately for us. Please join. This cost me like $1,000 to be able to have this software. So, all right. I think it will be valuable for everyone. We'll have a better private group, not publicly hosted on YouTube, and it will be cool. Yeah, I posted the link, Ishan, up above. I'll post it again. I'm just highlighting that. How can I copy it? It's not letting me copy it. I'll post it again throughout. There it is again, Ishan. The link's right there, Joe. It's in the comments. Just copy and paste it. I'll if you're on Instagram, I also will be posting about it on there, so you can follow it from there as well. No, well, it's not closed. You can share the link with anybody you want. It's going to be I'm just not going to publicly host it tomorrow on YouTube. I want to test this out, hosting it privately. So it's going to be for the group that we have here that's already following me. So you can sign up. It's totally free. All you have to do is just put in your email, and then it's going to send you the link for the live stream, and I'm going to host it privately. All right, so that's the game plan. Market's opening in 2 minutes here. Let me switch my screen over. Good morning, Jess7. So pretty muted so far this morning, but there is a lot of buying. So we'll see what develops of this. Looking at the lower time frames, like the 2 minute, the 5 minute from yesterday, even on that drop, that rise up and that drop, both pretty dang choppy. It wasn't like a smooth move by any means. This is what I'm talking about. This is where I think I got short around here, around 72 after that news pop. And then initially it was up like 5 points, got chopped out, break even. We came up, but even after we made that high, I don't know if there was anything super tradable, very choppy and just kind of grind lower. And then we had a quick little drop at the end of the day. Overnight, some better volatility, which is crazy, having way nicer, more volatile moves here overnight in the Asia session. But since that happened, we kind of broke under this key level, and then we're just kind of consolidating between key level and key level here. Nothing too significant. So watch out in this zone here. We'll see if we get this little break and retest back up into here this morning, like I talked about. There's the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Selling right off the get-go here. So we'll just see how this develops today. We've got a few scenarios in mind. If one of them develops and it looks A+ and see good confirmations, then I'll get in it. 9 a.m. Did I set that for 9 p.m.? No, it says 9 a.m. It's the exact same time as usual, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Perth. There's some strong buying. So we had that failed little dip there off the open. Nice, good bit of buying right there. Let's watch this. This is that 64.53 key level here. That's a 400 lotter right there. You can see that stacked up here. We do have some offers sitting right here, but we'll see what comes of this. Yeah, I like all of that aggressive buying that came in. I jumped in with it here at 64.54. Pretty small stop loss just down at 51. I'm in smaller size though, just because of the volatility here off the open, just kind of minimal size. But target would just be a sweep over 63s into yesterday after morning range. So around 63 to 67, kind of that opening momentum play that I talked about. And I'm going to trail my stop loss pretty fast here. I want to see this buying continue right away. This is that opening momentum setup that I talked about in the pre-market. So let's see if this can go. There's that large positive delta after that selling right off the open failed. So I jumped in it at 50. I got filled at 54. So I'm up a couple points, but I'm going to be pretty tight with this. If it sweeps down really hard, then I'm going to take it off, break even, and I'll look to possibly re-enter it. I want to see this kind of blast here, like right off the get-go. I liked this trapped selling here. So I liked this little dip off the open, and then we swept up really hard. We tried to pull back. Look at all this negative delta from sellers here, and did not even get any bit of pullback. So I jumped in it, but I may take it off and look to re-enter here if this doesn't go, because it only went 2 points past my entry here. Yeah, I just got stopped break even, but I'm going to look to get back in it on this dip here. See if we pull back into here around just under 53. It's going to be annoying if it kind of got me to the tick and I don't get a better entry here. See this bid here around 52.50. Let's see if we drop down here and fill that. Some 400 lots of negative delta building here now. See if we get a quick little drop that gets defended by bids. Again, just looking for those 63s to 67s. Okay. Came a little deeper and harder than I thought here. Still watching this for a re-entry, but I don't really like how strong that just rejected. Ideally, we would have seen more enthusiasm from buyers step in already for this setup. If we see some aggressive buying defend this, though, it's still in play. Might just be too much selling coming in here. Yeah, it looked good off the get-go, but honestly, it's not setting up quite so good now. There's quite a bit of selling that's coming in now. I liked how we had that dip and that nice momentum pump right off the get-go there. All right, I like that little dip there. So it's still holding. Let's see, where am I in? Trying this again at 51.75 with a very tight stop loss, just around 50. I really want to see this go like right away. If we can't trap all these sellers like right away here and rally into those 60s, then we may be destined for lower prices. All right, I like this little momentum here. I'll probably be looking to take this break-even risk again pretty much right away. I want to see a lot of buying come in pretty aggressively and trap these sellers. I'm in at 51.75. If we just chop around here and can't do it, then I'm going to take it off again, break even. Again, we tested this area where I kind of saw that off the open and double bottomed on it and recaptured. So I like that, but I'm not willing to hold it too long for a loss here. Either buyers got the juice. This is the first 20 minutes here, first 10 minutes here. So I want to see some momentum from buyers. Otherwise, I'm out of here. We already held this dip, so I'm going break even with my risk now at 51.75. We already held this dip at 52s, so it's now or never for buyers. Otherwise, it's just going to be another break even, just like yesterday. Again, just looking for 63s to 67s. We do have that news coming out at 10 a.m. too. So either buyers got it or they don't. Risk is off. Kind of let it come back to my entry here once on this quick little dip. My entry was just down here at 51.75. So I let it come back once, and now I'm going break even because either buyers got the juice to go take out these highs and hit my target right now, or they don't. There we go. Nice little pump. If we take out these highs, I may take half off for like 5-6 points here. Had some profit. We are going into the news in the next 15 minutes. Oh, maybe not. it's just kind of thin. Each little pop kind of drops back down with kind of thin volume. What I mean by thin is you see how we have all this aggressive buying and then we just drop quickly on this kind of low volume bit of selling. It's a bit just kind of thin and wicky. See if we can pop past this high a day right here. All right, I'm out half there for 5 points. Break even risk. Still got a contract on. Let's see if this wants to run up to the 60s to 70s. Is it golf time, guys? There's literally nothing that I can do to control this trade. I got filled for 4 3/4 points. Again, this was only like a 1.5 risk. So I took it off for a little over 2R, little baby scalp. Again, we have news coming out, so I'm not trying to be too crazy here, but I will hold this in case we do get that nice good move, but I'm just going to do it with reduced risk. Or I have no risk on anymore because my other contracts break even, but I padded a little bit of profit just because of how kind of thin and wicky this is. Oh my goodness. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Thought I was going to hit some golf balls, but looks like this is going to come back on me. Yeah, nice aggressive buying here after my entry, which is what I wanted to see, but then it just zoop, kind of fakes out. No, there's some buying coming in. Yeah, it's just the best way I can describe this action is just kind of thin and choppy, and that's what made me a bit jumpy to quickly take half that trade off for 5 points. And again, it was like less than a 2-point risk, so nothing crazy. But if this other half comes back on me now, then it's going to be basically just barely over 1-to-1, which is not my ideal thing. But we're still ahead of that 10 a.m. news, and how like thin and wicky this is making me kind of uncomfortable with it. That's why I took half off, gone break even here with the risk. So goodness. Yeah, that just got me out to the tick at 51.75. So I'm going to sit back now. Padded a couple $100 there, but yeah. Buyers really struggling above that level. You were right. That key level at 53, both times we've popped above there, it looked good and I was in it. And wow, look at that. Yeah, see, that's why I was very protective there. Took half off and moved my stop loss to break even. This is like a perfect M. Very up and down here. Get rid of this now. Yeah, I'm going to scratch that morning momentum trade setup idea. I'm going to invalidate that setup now. It looked good with this strong buying. This looked less good, but then we had this really aggressive buying coming in again, defending that zone. And I said, okay, let me watch it again. But now, just multiple times now, we've kind of tested that level. I was looking to see that 53 level break out above. And multiple times now, we've just rejected right back down with some pretty strong selling. So I'm going to invalidate that setup now. really quick, again, if you guys want to be a part of tomorrow's live stream, like I said already earlier, here's the link in the registration. I'm going to be hosting it privately tomorrow. It's totally free. That's the link right there in the chat. So unfortunately, that scenario 2 that I was watching for, which was buyers failing to get above those 53s, that was the setup that's playing this morning. And I was first looking for that morning momentum setup. So I didn't get to get a piece of this setup, unfortunately. This is a little bit of no man's land for me now. So just look at the 15-minute here. You can see this is where we spent all this time overnight kind of consolidating between this key level and this key level. You can see on the 15-minute how we had this nice strong buying up above these 53s. So I liked that for possibly a break and retest, momentum, opening range breakout, whatever you want to call it, setup. But just instant rejection off these sellers here, back down. So we are testing these lows that we are forming since overnight, these kind of higher lows, but this is kind of a choppy range, up and down kind of consolidation between 31s and 53s. So need to be careful here. And we have news coming out in just a couple minutes. I'm open to shorts on the idea if we get a pop back up into here. But I would just say if we pop all the way back up into here with strong buying, I'm just kind of a little bit wary of just kind of, we can watch kind of this zone here where we double topped and we had strong selling come in here twice around 54, 54, 55. So really that whole like 53 to 55, we had some strong selling come in. But honestly, after the selling we had yesterday into this demand area, I'm a little wary chasing shorts down here. I would have rather seen a higher pop and good confirmations to take it short at the highs for a top reversal. And if we recapture back up here, this is not ideal for shorts. I just don't want to be, how do I say this? We've already had a downside move for basically yesterday and since we made those highs on the news. Now we've come down and we're testing the demand area that was formed on that really strong rally day on Friday. So I just don't really like shorting into that unless I see really strong, significant confirmations of absorption and selling, which we are kind of seeing. But I'm still very cautious of it. You can see we came right up to that, hit almost the tick on that box there and rejected back down. Look at that. Dang. And the other thing is we're 7 minutes away from some news now. So this quick aggressive buying lacked continuation of the upside, and this quick strong selling so far lacked continuation to the downside, and we're right in the middle. So I'm a little not, I don't want to initiate a trade around here, to be honest with you guys now. I want to kind of sit back and wait. Just because we have some news coming out in a few minutes, we've kind of up and down here. So for all of those reasons, I'm just going to sit back and stay patient. Yeah, exactly, Blair. Higher time frame context, very bullish. So I'm very cautious with any shorts. Man, if we get the rally up now, that's a little frustrating because I was trying to catch it and we just really pulled back hard with some hard selling before we bounced up here. Like, look at this. Just on a candle chart, you can see how up and down this is on the 2-minute. So very difficult, especially just a couple minutes away from news. Very difficult to try and be getting in a trade here now. It's just not clean. So just being patient. And exactly like Blair said, like higher time frame, yeah, we're still very bullish. Shorts are just for quick counter trend moves. And so trying to get an entry for a downside continuation is tough. I'll just say it's a little tough. Yeah, I mean, honestly, why not detail? Yeah, it's looking trappy on both sides right now, and I can't get if I'm just being honest with you guys, I don't have a clear read on the next move, and we have news coming out in 3 minutes. So, because of how up and down this is and kind of trapping participants on both sides, and I don't have a real clear read on it, I'm just kind of sitting cash now. I padded a little bit with a couple points of profit, and it's just, yeah, kind of 50-50 kind of. I'm not seeing something that's like A plus glaring at me like take this trade. I just need to kind of be patient here, and we have some news coming out in just a couple minutes, so let's protect our capital, guys. I also might have a little bit of PTSD from yesterday's chop session in the morning. So if I see a repeat of that super choppy morning, I'm not looking to get chopped to bits in it. Yeah, let's just wait for something A plus. Sometimes it just happens. That's just part of the game. Like, perfect example is yesterday. Like we eventually did hit the target that I wanted to hit. Like the analysis was correct. Like we got the move that I was looking for. It just happened in a way and at a time that wasn't really tradable for me, and it wasn't a really good setup. So you have to just be completely okay with missing moves and not being a part of the action, even if it's going the direction that you speculated it would. But if you didn't have a good setup with good confirmations to frame good risk versus reward around, then it doesn't really matter. TC something, I can't pronounce your screen name. Yeah, I do a couple live streams a week. I post a lot of trade recaps and things on Instagram and YouTube. But I generally do a couple live streams a week, and then some weeks I'll do live streams every day. Like this week, I'm doing live streams every day. I'm a full-time trader. I do this anyway. So yeah, I just kind of do this to share with people. Tomorrow's live stream is going to be hosted privately. Again, it's free to join. Let me send this again. Free to join the live stream tomorrow. There's the link, but I'm just going to be hosting it privately, kind of like a Zoom call on StreamYard. For anybody that joined in late, again, live stream tomorrow is going to be hosted privately. You can sign up for free there. Yeah, I primarily trade ES, primarily being like 99%. I do sometimes do more swing trades on SPY with options, and I sometimes trade NASDAQ, especially when volatility is very low on ES. But 95+% of the time, I'm just trading ES. I do technical analysis with supply and demand, support and resistance, a lot of stuff like that. And then I confirm and execute trades based on reading the tape, reading the order flow of real time. Douglas, it's hard to say. I have a lot of different setups that I trade. I've talked about this before. I've been trading for a long time, just ES. So for newer traders, I recommend like kind of focusing in on one setup. So I do primarily trade reversals because that's where I find the highest risk versus reward opportunity, and I prioritize risk versus reward over win rate. But the types of reversals that I trade are different. And a lot of times I do trade like bear and bull flags, and I trade them as a reversal, like a shorter term pullback within a longer term uptrend. That's a setup. So it really depends on the type of reversal and the type of setup that I'm trading, the different confirmations that I look for. But I would say more often than not, it's best to go with the trend and not try to catch a long-term reversal if you're an intraday trader, Douglas. So I'm not trying to catch an ultimate high or an ultimate low for a large reversal. I'm mostly trying to identify the direction price is moving and find shorter term reversals than that. So I'm trying to find a good bottom reversal of kind of a bull flag that's forming or a bear flag that's forming. I'm working every day on putting together a lot more information and video series and stuff for you guys on the setups that I trade, confirmations, all that kind of stuff, very detailed. But it's taking me a while because it's a lot of content, and I'm not gonna kind of release just bits and pieces. I'm going to put something very good together for you guys. I'm gonna give you like 9 years of kind of trading experience in a series. Yeah, exactly, Blair. Cool. TC of TRE. Thanks for joining in, man. Appreciate you're here. Appreciate you being here. I don't have a Discord or anything right now. Easy, no, but may have more stuff for you guys in the future. Looking again for a failed high day break. Take it short. Yeah, we are after the news now, a couple minutes, and we're still just kind of holding in this range. Very, very clear resistance point up here at these highs. So I don't love shorting into this so much. It just looks like it's going to get taken out and go higher. We had this little pullback to this spot where I wanted to get in around 51, 52, 53 right before the news, and then we popped over it. So I have a hard time chasing longs here. If I can find a good pullback that makes sense, then I might be interested in taking it long again, and again targeting those 63s to 67s. But we could see a high a day fake out and reversal back here. There clearly is resistance here, like clear resistance area around here where buyers are being absorbed. So I guess the question is, do we break and retest above this, or do we continue to fake out and reject back under it? There's a lot of buying pressure coming in here, 396 lots at 55. You can see all this buying built up at the highs here. There's just a lot of buying that's built up at the highs here. And all these quick drops have lacked continuation. These quick, sharp drops have lacked continuation. Even this one with all of this aggressive selling, and it's like price cannot get away from this. Buyers keep taking it right back up here. So it's tough to be a part of it right now because these quick, wicky, sharp drops keep happening. But at the same time, buyers are like refusing to let it get away from this level, which just makes me think there's a good chance we're going to go break above this, at least into the 60s to 70s. I could be totally wrong on that, and that's just part of trading. It's a probabilities game. But that's just kind of a gut feel. But we're essentially just building more and more high volume right in this area that we've been consolidating all night. Right here, right? We're still just building more and more volume here. If we get above this, then we could shoot easily back up into the 70s. If buyers can't get above it, then we could easily drop back down to the 30s. But I would just say higher time frame is bullish. We're just seeing so much buying continue to come in here at the highs, and sellers are really not able to get any continuation down. And look at how all this aggressive selling came in. Look how it's just kind of decreased. See how it's just kind of just look at the size of the bubbles and how much it's pulled back each time has kind of gotten weaker and smaller, and we are continuing to see large buying towards the highs. See what I'm saying? The problem is that there's just definitely a passive seller here. But if this passive seller stops, then this buying looks like it just continuously wants to come in. It's like somebody's trying to dam a stream with little bricks, and it works for a few minutes, but that trickle just keeps building, keeps building, keeps building. And that's kind of like what's going on with buyers right now. There's like a seller here tossing bricks in front of the stream, but the buying just keeps coming, keeps coming, keeps coming. And so eventually, unless that brick becomes a massive wall, the stream is going to overrun the brick and keep going up. Yeah, there's definitely a passive seller here because we can see all this large buying has not moved price up. But given the context and each one of these pullbacks has lacked more and more selling, it could work. You know, somebody might be sitting here with $1 billion to sell the market short. I don't know. We just got to watch and see. And if that's the case, and somebody's sitting here at a hedge fund with $1 billion to short the market at this level, then it will probably hold and we probably will sell off. But if this passive seller eventually runs out, we've just continued to see how the buying has increased at the highs each time. Each time we've rallied, the buying has increased. So just like more and more people want to buy this, and each pullback now recently has just gotten weaker and weaker, and more buying is coming in up here. So eventually, this seller is going to run out of selling, or these buyers are going to run out. But right now, I'm kind of leaning towards the buyers just because there's so many buyers that want to be in this, it seems like. See how it's just gotten larger and larger? Like there's more and more excitement coming in to buy this thing. And look, here we go. So let's see if we get a little pullback now for kind of a break and retest over this. Maybe target the 70s, but I don't want this to be a fake out. So I need to see a pullback hold. And if it just shoots up without any pullback, then unfortunately, there's just not really a setup for me to be a part of it. Stiff rejection again. Let's just watch and see what happens. Still just not super clear because on this breakup here, the buying dwindled and then kind of rejected stiffly. We are seeing this bid come in now at the 54s. He pulled. Yeah, so on this break, we had a ton of volume built up, but then it just lacked. You can see the size of the bubbles once we did pop above that seller and then stiffly rejected. So I'm just still waiting to see a good, clean setup develop.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with trading this as a high day fake out, because that's certainly what could happen here too. If this resistance stays strong and the breakout above it, which we just saw, fails, then we could certainly see the fake out. But it's tough to get a real clear read on it. And if you look at the 2-minute chart or the 5-minute chart, it pretty much looks like a barcode. And that is why it's difficult to get a clear read on it. I already took kind of a small partial profit, and now I'm kind of sitting back. I'm not trying to be like overly eager to jump into something here at the first sign, because I'm just observing how barcodey it is here in the first 45 minutes now. Very akin to how yesterday traded. And my number one job every day is preserving capital and risk management. So if there's not a clear opportunity, then the clear opportunity is to stay cash and preserve your capital for better opportunities. Again, every quick little dip is just lacking continuation, and the buying just keeps coming like that stream that just keeps trickling. And I still think buyers are going to take this up to the 60s, 70s, unless something different happens. We have this clear resistance here at 55, 56. However, there's just no follow through after that. And eventually that guy's going to run out of money, and this buying is just still coming in. It just seems like there's more excitement to be a buyer and there's less excitement to be a seller here, just in the way that volume is kind of presenting itself here. Every time we reject off this resistance level, there's just not really any excitement from sellers to pile in. And every time we pop, there's a ton of excitement from buyers to pile into it. Look at this. We're now we're back above this level again now, and look at all this excitement from buyers. There's just more and more buying coming in. We'll see if it can gain continuation or not. Cumulative delta wise, and this is kind of what I was explaining in just looking at the size of the bubbles on the rallies and pullbacks, but you can see down here on the day, 104,000 lots of aggressive buying, 101,000 lots. So there's 2,000 or 3,000 lots more of aggressive buying than there is aggressive selling, which is kind of what I was describing on these pops. You can just see how the excitement and momentum comes in, and on the drops, how it just quickly fades, and there's not really anybody that wants to follow through with the selling. And I'm just now looking down here at the cumulative delta on the day, and we can see there is more aggressive buying than there is selling. But this resistance at this area here around 55 is strong. There's deep pockets absorbing buyers here, but eventually they're going to run out of money, or buyers are going to run out. But we'll see how it sets up. Yeah, both. I mean, clearly some firm is probably using an algorithm or something to passively sell the market around this area. That's just how I personally view it, because clearly we can see all of this aggressive buying around here, around this zone, but price is not really rallying strongly. But at the same time, despite that passive seller around this zone, every time we drop, like I always say, I need aggressive participants to come in after my entry to continue to move price in the direction that I want. So even if I see this absorption here, I'm not seeing follow through from sellers that makes me think that a lot of people are going to want to aggressively sell the market after I sell. So yeah, I'm seeing absorption here and I'm seeing a passive seller here, but I don't really have good reason to believe that aggressive sellers are going to want to continue to selling. In fact, I'm seeing the opposite, which as every time we pop, more and more aggressive buyers want to buy. So I'm kind of more looking at, okay, if this passive seller here runs out of money and he's no longer selling, then what's to stop all these aggressive buyers that are excited about buying these highs to continue to drive price back up into the 60s and 70s? Not much. That's just how I'm personally viewing this right now. But again, every time we pop these highs, clearly this passive seller is still selling and we're rejecting back down. And that's why, even though I'm seeing that analysis and I have that kind of gut feel, you could say, spidey sense, I don't see a good risk versus reward, good probability trade around it just yet, because it's very up and down. It's a freaking battle going on right here. We can just clearly see. And so I really would like to trade when there's an opportunity that just looks like a pile of cash sitting in the corner of the room and I can just walk over and pick it up because the setup looks so good. You know what I mean? I don't totally see that, but I am seeing that if this passive buyer or passive seller at this kind of resistance level runs out of gas, there's a steady trickle of excited buyers ready to drive price higher. Does that kind of analogy make sense to you guys? The morning momentum setup looked good because we can see all this excited buying. But that was before we could clearly identify that there was deep pockets passively selling here. And once I identified that, okay, I was like, all right, I'm not taking the morning momentum setup. On a different day, if this passive seller wasn't here, my entry would have been, a 15, 20 point win. But there was this large passive seller here. We didn't know that at the time. Now we know that. And now I'm kind of observing it to see what price does above or below it. But look at just zooming out, look at all this buying at the highs up here. Look at this. And unfortunately, it's grinding up towards my target now. I just never saw a great entry to be a part of it. Unfortunately, you just can't be a part of every move. Sometimes that happens. It's just too grindy, and there just wasn't a great entry point that I saw where I could be like, enter, good risk, clearly defined. You know what I mean? This may have been the best entry here at 56 after seeing all this aggressive buying and this little pullback held here. This may have been the best entry, but this is what I'm talking about, though. I mean, you guys see how, yes, we had that absorption, but that wasn't enough for a trade to short the market. You know what I mean? I could identify just the excitement from buyers coming in at the highs. So I avoided losing money trying to short the market based on that analysis. I didn't catch the long entry that I wanted, but I definitely, if I was just looking at a candle chart or not really understanding the auction going on here, I may have looked to short the market at this clear resistance level, but kind of peeling the curtain back and having a good read on order flow, I avoided losing money trying to short that resistance level. Nice. Yeah, this was a good entry here. I was blabbing and talking and stuff like that, and it wasn't super clear. It's more clear now because we've gone up, duh. But yeah, I mean, just look at the size of the buying increase on each pop, increase, and then just really lack excitement and continuation from sellers on these kind of wiki pullbacks. $63s, yeah, that's my target. Blair took my trade. Yeah, I mean, it's going up. Dang it. I wanted to be in this move, but I couldn't pinpoint entry. And in hindsight, obviously everything is crystal clear in hindsight. This was a good entry here once we had all this aggressive buying kind of above that resistance level, that break and retest right here. I just didn't identify it in the moment. And actually it looks even better zooming out. Look at this selling, and then we pulled back with weaker selling. If I was more zoomed in and more paying attention, that was an entry right there. Look at that resistance level turn support. Once we got above it with this strong buying, the difference was this pop above this level, I did not take it because look how the buying just fizzled on that and then pulled back. This pop, see how buying increased above that level and then we pulled back, absorbed sellers, pulled back again, weaker selling, ding. That was my entry right there, zooming in more. Great trade, Blair. Nice one, man. Nice catch, Blair. Yeah, I think, well, one, I was zoomed out too much, and so I didn't see that so clearly, and I was talking. But yeah, see, the difference was at this resistance level, this time we got above it, and buying was a lot larger than it was the last time we tested this. And then on this pullback, absorption of sellers, weaker selling. And at that point, 55, 56 was a good entry, and I'd probably just put a stop loss down here at 54. So you're really risking like 2 points. Yeah, bubble settings. Volume dots. 3, 2, 1, screenshot it. Just continuing to see a lot of buying come in at these highs. So I wouldn't hold it for a loss, but I would just be patient with a long, you know, we could quickly sweep out and I wouldn't take an L on it. There's not a ton of momentum driving price up, but there's just a steady stream of buying coming in. I think what made me steer clear of also clicking an entry is just how the buying is just kind of trickling in and there's just kind of a lack of momentum, pace of the market. That also was a little bit deterring for me to actually click buy. Now, Ishan, I'm not in any trades. I'm just watching. Just watching and talking you guys through what I'm seeing. today the analysis so far has just helped me not lose money by shorting that resistance level. But in the moment, I didn't see a great entry to be a part of it, but I certainly avoided losing money by trying to short this level so far. Volume profile, talking about here, volume profile sell and volume profile buy in MOI. Is that what you're talking about? Good. I'm glad you got something from this, Appy. Are you talking about volume profile sell and volume profile buy here in MOI? 2409. Oh, this right here. Down here is the cumulative volume delta on the day. I think this is the cumulative volume delta on the day. You can see we are about a couple thousand lots higher, but the difference is I think this is on the full day session, and I'm not sure if this clears out at 9 a.m. or not, 9:30 a.m. This all clears out at 9:30 a.m. I think this is the cumulative delta on the day so far since 9:30 when this all cleared. Let me see. So this is at just 121, 150-ish minus 117, 300-ish. That's a different number. Oh, well, you know what? I think this is on the full day, including the pre-market, and this is cleared at 9:30. Yep, no worries. There you go. Yeah, I wanted to be a part of this move just like yesterday, and unfortunately this morning was so choppy. I padded a couple points on it, but even this move up is uneasy, grinding up without a lot of volatility. The 1 minute chart, yeah. I'm gonna kind of, I was watching this zone. I'm gonna just remove it now. It's just clutter on my screen. Yeah, just look, the 1 minute we can see just grinding up. We did get above this 53 level and we pulled back and held it. But in the moment, that selling looked pretty scary to buy that dip at 53 on that level. Grinding up here, grinding up here. It's still just looking iffy both ways. If I'm just being totally honest with you guys, I'll always be honest with you guys. If I see a good setup or if I'm just kind of having a hard time kind of really getting a really strong feel one way or the other for a setup. And right now is kind of one of those times where I don't have a super clear read for an A+ trade right now. Like I'm explaining to you guys what I'm seeing to kind of like how to read the order flow. But at the same time, just because I'm seeing that doesn't mean I have a clear read on an A+ trade as far as probability, risk versus reward, key level, etc. All that has to come together for a really good trade. So I'm sharing with you guys like how to kind of analyze the tape, how I analyze the tape, but that doesn't, just because I have a feel for that doesn't mean I have an A+ trade to put on. Again, another reminder, if you want to be a part of the live stream tomorrow, if you just joined in late, it's going to be hosted privately. It's free, but there's the link. If you want to join the live stream tomorrow, just register. You'll get an email with the link to join it. It's just going to be on StreamYard. It's kind of like Zoom. It'll just be a private call for the group of people that we have here. I'm not going to host it publicly for new people. It's just going to be for us. Going to give this a try. So appreciate everybody being here. If you guys find value in this, I appreciate it if you just drop a like on the video. Hopefully, even if there's no trades going on, some people caught some nice trades, but I try to always make it valuable and help you guys learn something. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Blair. I probably wouldn't be holding a trade into the red in these conditions either, especially being up a bit with all that strong buying. It was a great idea. It was a great trade. It's just same as mine earlier. It's just one of those things right now where it's pretty choppy, and it's very similar to yesterday. And so we just want to protect. I just want to protect. I'm never telling you guys what to do. Do your own analysis, take your own trades. Don't copy me, but just sharing what I'm seeing with you guys. Hopefully it helps you protect your capital and take better trades. But yeah, live stream will be hosted privately tomorrow. Hope you guys all join in. It'll be kind of the same format and stuff, just may go a little deeper into analysis and all that good stuff. And it won't be public. I will try to record it and share it after the fact, but it's right there. Thanks, Jasmine. Appreciate it. Thanks, Little Potato. Yeah, I'll give it a little longer here and see what develops, and see. Sometimes right around 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m., a lot of times news comes out, market kind of digests that. So till around 10:30 a.m. or so. Am I on a green streak right now? Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a red week in a little while. Short at 59 still seems weak. Yeah. Yeah, we got above that resistance level, and there was a nice, steady, strong bit of buying that came in up here, up into the 60s. And when we see this large buying, and it just now tide's kind of shifting back the other way. Hang on a sec, guys. What's wrong? Sorry, guys. My daughter fell down. Toddlers doing toddler things. Yeah, just didn't like the lack of continuation. Definitely that's happening. There is some stronger selling stepping in here now. So looking at the cumulative delta on my footprint chart, I'm seeing 200 lots around 60, 200, 200, a lot of aggressive buying stacked up around 60. So if we get a quick pop, I may actually look to short it for a quick reversal back down now. We may have just topped out with that. But I'm not going to chase it short. I would need to see a pop back up into here. Again, that kind of scenario 2 from the game plan this morning, and we're seeing some offers appearing here, but it may be too late. I may have missed it. But I'm looking at not bookmap, it's not quite so clear, but looking at my footprint chart, seeing 2, 4, 2, 2, a lot, hundreds and hundreds of aggressive buying lots right around 60 and 61 that just totally stalled. Which we can kind of see here on the buying. You can see this area between this seller and this seller, all this volume that built up around here. But yeah, the thesis there would just be that the buyers shot their shot on this breakout, and it would just be kind of a failed breakout. And now that all these buyers have shot their shot, if that failed to continue, then all these buyers are going to become sellers as price moves back down, and it's going to fuel a quick drop back down. Because if you think about it, everybody that bought is going to have stop losses. You know what I mean? And so if they bought, and then we had all this more absorption stepping in, you know what I mean? What I talked about earlier, that brick in the stream just became a wall. And now buyers have run out of steam. But unfortunately, I may have missed it. There's a couple times how much R do I make on an average month? It varies. I mean, my win rate is generally like around 50 to 60%, and my average R multiple per trade is usually around 3 to 5 R, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. But summer is definitely trickier. It's lower. Typically, volatility is lower. It's harder to capture really high R trades in the lower volatility. I think my average risk or average R this month so far is around 5 per trade. It's like my average R this month is around 4.9 R per trade on average. If I see a stop hunt here, a quick like lower volume pop from buyers that gets shut down in this zone up here with offers appearing, you can see this offer that just appeared here. But if I see a quick pop, like stop hunting all these first sellers, and then I see large offers appearing and filling, I may take a stab at that short. And I would just be kind of speculating that after seeing all this really large absorption around the 60s, that buyers kind of ran out of gas on this breakout. And we may have a quick drop down.
I got stuff with my wind heater.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, there was a quick pop up there, and there's the offers appearing. Freaking checked my phone and missed it. Let's see what happens here. Can't access the link. There's the link again. People are accessing it because I see there's over 100 people have signed up for tomorrow. Man, I missed that quick pop up there. Right into that zone. Offers appeared right there. That was great. That was great. Get rid of that line now. Yeah, I wish I could tell you I took that one, guys, but I looked down for a second. Got a notification on my phone, and I looked down for a second, and I missed that pop. Ah, that's annoying. Yeah, we can see, just zooming way out here, we can see all this large buying up here. If all this large buying fails on the day now, and we do not break out over the 60s now, then we could see a nice quick drop down to the lows again, down into the 40s, down into the 30s. I'm going to try this at the 57s here on that pop, small size, just kind of risking my partial profit from earlier with a stop up here at the 60s. Probability wise, I don't love it so much, but risk versus reward wise, just looking out, seeing all this aggressive buying up here, possibly failed breakout scenario. We're still, I remember I said game plan 2 is if we get up into those 50 to 60s today and buyers just can't get the gas above there, then I'm open to taking that short and then just targeting a quick drop down towards the lows. 40s to 30s would be ideal. Just kind of speculating that all of these buyers are going to become sellers on this drop now as they stop out of their positions. So those would be part of the aggressive sellers that come in after me that really help drive price down. On that pop, I saw multiple 200, 400 lot aggressive buyers fail to drive price back up to those 60s. And that was kind of my reason for entering. Right here and here, where we can see all this buying stacking up, just didn't really see continuation. And I saw on the heat map here, I'm seeing these offers appearing on this pop, on this pop specifically. There's lower volume and some offers offers appearing. Sorry, I'm losing my voice now, guys. Some offers appearing on that pop. So again, just kind of risking that small profit that I padded earlier this morning for a potential high reward. But I would really like to see some more aggression from buyers come in. I mean, sellers, sorry. Where's my golf balls? I like the absorption here. Just need to see some more aggression from sellers come in to bring a little bit of follow through on this. NVIDIA earnings tomorrow. Yeah, that's a big one. Pretty slow though, guys. See if this pop fails or if it goes and stops me. Well, a lot more buying surging in, so I don't love that. Well, I do like that rejection off that zone. Came mighty close to stopping me, but I'm still in. Not ideal that pullback didn't hold. Yeah, Heaven, exactly what you just said. Aggressive buying at the highs that kind of lacked follow through. I was watching this 50 to 60 area. I was first watching it for a breakout, but the longer we spent up here with just more and more aggressive buying that broke out above kind of that resistance level that we saw this morning, just kind of didn't go anywhere. And so it became more and more interesting to me. The probability was lower, but it became more and more interesting to me as just all this buying just stacked up around 60 and 61 and just really couldn't drive price higher. So that became more interesting for me, and that's why I marked this zone, watching it for a retest to short it, which I did here around 57, and I'm still just kind of waiting for this. My target being kind of down here towards the lows, 50 to 40. Like just zooming out, if all of this aggressive buying up here has failed, and that's the high with all this aggressive buying, then I don't see much stopping another quick, sharp drop back down to the 40s. But I would want to see it really stop out all these buyers, which would really add fuel to an aggressive drop down to the lows. We got to get this, if you guys remember, this 55, 56 area was that previous resistance area that we saw here very clearly. To really confirm this trade, we got to see a strong break under that level. And if we see a strong break under that level, then I don't see much to stop us from going back down to these 40, low 40s into potentially the low of day. Honestly, if we can break strongly under these 55s, 53s, I don't see much stopping a low of day. After, with the context of all this buying up here from 55 to 60 on that breakout failing, with that context in mind, I don't see, if that is a failed breakout and we now fail under the 60s, I don't see much stopping us from going back towards the low a day. The risk being if this previous resistance level becomes support and gets strongly defended now, and we cannot break under these 55s, then I will be wrong on the trade. And we are bouncing pretty sharply off that. So I'm kind of speculating with very tight risk that if we break back under those 55, 56s, then this could become a big drop, failed breakout. So probably weaker probability, but high reward, low risk. Weaker probability because I'm kind of going against we've clearly, since overnight, like I talked about, we've been making higher lows, and that's why I was looking for that morning momentum long setup. And I'm kind of going against that here. Understood, but the risk is very small and the reward is very high. Yeah, offers stacking, but unfortunately what I wanted to see here was a lot of aggressive selling coming in that really puts all these buyers in pain here. These buyers from 55 to 60 that bought the breakout. need to see a lot of aggressive selling come in to really put them in pain, because that's what's going to fuel this trade if it works out, is going to be all these buyers above 55 getting in pain and stopping out, and that's going to really pour gas on the fire to dump this thing back down to the 40s. But it is pretty brutally slow, if I'm being honest with you guys. And it is definitely, even for me, really testing my patience. Oh no, Daniel got chopped up. Sorry, man. Yeah, it's easy to do. It's easy to do in this price action. I've been there so many times. I speak to you guys with the voice of just like pain, because I've been through these things so many times. So I try to share these insights with you guys from the experience of like, I've been through it, and I've been through that pain so many times. So believe me when I say I understand. Just try to take a lesson from it and learn from it, identify these conditions, and really watch out for it. And honestly, this trade I'm in is kind of lower quality. I'm kind of just risking earlier profit that I padded a couple points with. And it is lower probability, lower quality. But again, it's a scenario where it's lower quality, but the reward potential is very high and the risk is pretty low. So I took a stab at it. Yeah. Clear your mind, Daniel, get some exercise or something, and come back, try to take a lesson from it. No, it's only a loss if you just take a loss and you don't learn anything from it. Otherwise, if you learn something from it, then it's just a tuition cost of learning. And that's okay. But if you make mistakes and you don't learn from it, you don't journal it, you don't do anything, then that's a true loss. But, clear your mind, kind of let go of that negative energy, don't bring it back into tomorrow, and take a lesson from it, then it's just a tuition cost of learning. I do like how the selling is stacking heavier here, and the buyers kind of kept getting weaker and weaker at the highs up here. But up near my entry, the buying just got weaker and weaker, which I do like. But I would just really not feel good in this trade until we get some aggressive selling back under these 55s, 53s. If we get some really strong aggressive selling under these 55s to 53s, then I'll probably move my risk to break even, and it'll just be ride or die, target or break even day. There's just a lot. I mean, there's a lot of, I think, unknowns in the market right now as far as the Fed and everything. There was a ton of positivity that surged on kind of the more dovish tones from the Fed after Jackson Hole last week. So from a macro level, there's a lot of positivity, but also, or hopefulness, but also the market is so high, it's basically pricing in every good scenario going right. And so as soon as one domino in the stack isn't going right, then we could have a big retracement, because the market is basically pricing in a best case scenario at these highs. And so that leaves it a little tricky, where buyers are a little wary to keep buying, and sellers are a little wary to be kind of first sellers and step front of the train. You know what I mean? And so when both people are a little wary, standoffish, then it leads to these kind of lower volatility, kind of choppier stuff like we're seeing. We need to see some strong selling really pump this move under these 55 to 53s if this trade is going to work out. We're under that kind of resistance level around 55, 56 slightly, or right at it. Need to see some heavy selling really come in now, and because we're right at kind of the tipping point now. I got a pretty preemptive entry, and we're right at the tipping point where if buyers don't step in here really strong and selling stacks up, then all these buyers could really get in pain and start stopping out. And that's going to really fuel this downside move. VWAP, yeah. I don't look at VWAP a ton, but yeah, we got to get VWAP and this kind of support or resistance turn support level. If we get under both of those, then the wheels could come off this move pretty quick, and we could go back down to the downside. And I'm basically taking a low risk, high reward bet that if the wheels come off this train, then it could get ugly fast back the other way. All right, I don't want to see that fail here, so I'm going to probably trail my risk pretty quickly here. We're getting that large dump of selling, so risk is going break even now. All right, I'm going to take off half here just in case we kind of sweep under these lows and fail at this 53 level and trail my risk. It's kind of like a 1.5, 2R exit. And I'm just seeing these lows here. You know, I don't want to see a fake out under this. So I'm going to take some off here into these 53s. Just take half off for a few point scalp, 4 points on, you know, like a 2.5 point risk. So like 1.75R. I just don't want to see all this heavy selling that just came in get swept back up into the highs. That would just not be ideal. But I'm holding it with just half my position. when the selling comes in strong, what I've noticed on the best like breakdowns that you catch at the highs, it really like comes in like the floodgates open up. And otherwise, this thing's going to stop me out. Otherwise, if it doesn't come in like that, then it tends to just continue to go sideways chop or grind back higher again. From my experience on these kind of moves. Yeah. Mount break even there at the 57s. Yeah, just no follow through. So 2 half profit trades up and down. Like I just don't want to see, we had this heavy volume come in here on this dump under these lows and instant recapture back above those 55s. So fortunately, I took off half my trade down here at the lows. It may not go and hit my stop loss, but I'm just not, just based on how I'm reading this now, I'm just not comfortable. I'm just not comfortable holding it into a loss now after we already kind of got the heavy selling that I wanted to see. Maybe I'm being too tight with this. You know what I mean? Maybe I am being too tight with this. But I'll be honest, the conditions are making me feel a little uncomfortable with how kind of choppy and lacking follow through it is. But it may have just stop hunted me and got me out literally to the tick. Right now, it literally took me out to the tick at 57s and dropped back down. So there's that. Oh, well, it is what it is. Yeah, very choppy conditions, very similar to yesterday, very difficult to be a part of a move when it's this choppy. There it comes now. It got me out literally to the tick, and now it's coming in for another drop. So that's probably a wrap for me, guys. Caught multiple little scalps there, break even, half profit. So small green day. Luckily, I padded some profit while I had it, just reading the conditions. Just decided to take half the trade off. And unfortunately, both times that came back on me for break even. It is what it is. It's just one of those days. You can see how just thin and small the bubbles are. And we're getting later and later into the morning now. It's after 11 a.m. So we're not going to continue in these kind of conditions forever. But when I am seeing these kind of conditions and volatility is lacking and we're very kind of thin and wicking up and down, essentially a barcode on like the 1 to 5 minute time frames with that one spike up to the 60s. With the exception of that, pretty much a barcode. So yeah, I'm excited for September. Ready for summer to be over. I've been surviving, squeaking out profits, but the big winning days have been few and far between. I've just been hitting base hits, but you know, and a base hit for me is still 4 or 5R. I'm at my average realized trade this month is like 4.9R. So still not bad. It's just it's been just kind of squeaking out profits with the lower volatility. But one last time, here's the link for tomorrow. So if you guys want to join in the live stream tomorrow, hop in on there. Again, free kind of same format that we do today, just going to be hosting it privately, not on YouTube. So if you joined in late, there's the registration. I will post it on Instagram as well. So if you guys are following me on there, then I will share the link and everything on there as well, so we can all join in tomorrow again. Thanks, Evan P. Thanks for joining in. If you guys found value in this, just in analyzing the markets and order flow and everything, I appreciate if you just drop a like on the video. That helps me out. Thanks, Chi. Thanks, Evan. Appreciate you all being here. Blair, Diego, thank you guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow in the private live stream on StreamYard. Have a good day, Ishan, Kellen Rock. See you guys tomorrow. Mar, Richard, thank you guys. I hope to see you guys all in the live stream tomorrow on StreamYard. Private stream tomorrow. Peace. Thanks, Jacob. Thanks, Dogfish. Thank you, guys.